Hi, Hayley here at hhwellness.com.au, and I'm so passionate about sharing and teaching you ways that you can heal and live a healthier, happier life using the holistic approach. Now, today's blog talks about 4 things that may be stopping you and your body from reaching ultimate health. So I am so passionate about today's topic. When I first started studying holistic counselling and started learning about how our emotions affect our body, I was absolutely blown away by the whole thing and was so interested in it and was amazed at how accurate it actually was when looking at other people and things that were going on with them and looking at that in my life as well. And we all understand external causes of physical health nowadays. We all understand that diet and lifestyle have a big impact on our physical health. We know that toxic chemicals, either at work or at home, can have an impact, addiction, technology. But we don't hear a lot about emotional factors. We all know that stress can create heart problems. We all know about that. That's how meditation's become a little bit more mainstream, because we're told about how stress and anxiety really affect the heart and heart conditions. But what about anger, frustration, sadness, grief, fear, especially holding on to things from the past? These emotions as well can have a massive effect on our physical well-being, not just our heart, but all sorts of different ailments, headaches, constant colds and flus, aches and pains, joints, gut problems, all sorts of things can happen and be an actual like an effect of holding on to emotions and things that are no longer working for us. So now I really do believe that our body is the barometer of our soul, and I think that when our body has these things, when we get sick, and especially if it's something that you find is happening to you regularly, like you always have a cold, or you always get a sinus infection, you always get a bad lower back, it's a sign. Our body is calling out to us and saying, can you please listen to me, something isn't working. But what we do is we go and grab Panadol and Nurofen, or we go to the doctor and grab antibiotics, and we just cover it up. It's like just going, it's like if a pipe bursts in your house and you just wrap some gaffer around it. The pipe's still broken and it's still going to keep leaking and things are going to keep happening. And it's the same, that's what we do to our bodies. We're just sort of covering up and not really getting to the bottom of what's wrong and what our body is actually trying to tell us. So, for instance, if it comes to wintertime, colds and flus are so popular. Nobody really likes them, but people get colds and flus in wintertime, and a lot of the reason for that is that we're not doing what our body is asking us to do. We're not nurturing ourselves and looking after ourselves. Winter's a time of hibernation. We've been through summer and autumn where we've been out and about and it's been beautiful weather and we've been up late because it's lighter later, and it's been this real time of all this excitement. Winter's time to calm it down. Winter's a time to stop, like I said, hibernate, sleep more, stay indoors more, nourish yourself more in all sorts of different ways, making sure, lots of hearty, vegetable-filled meals. But the problem is today in our society, we don't do that. Winter comes and we're wishing it was warmer because we still want to go out late. We still want to keep, we're still scheduled beyond what we can handle. And a cold and a flu is our body's way of saying, no, stop, I need rest. This is a time for rest. It's a time for recuperating. It's a time for going within a little bit, withdrawing a little bit and calming down. But because we don't do that, we end up sick. So we've lost the art of listening, basically, to our bodies. We've lost the art of actually tuning into ourselves, to listening to our bodies and what it needs and what it's wanting from us. We don't appreciate it. We don't respect it. We don't love it. And I'm not talking in the fact of, I stand in front of the mirror and say, oh, I love my thighs, learning to love your stretched marked belly from the million pregnancies that you've had. or, you know, loving your, I don't know, whatever. It's not about that. It's actually about loving and respecting what happens on the inside of your body and how important your body is for you within your lifetime. You know, our bodies, I believe we all have a purpose here. We all have things to do. And if we're not listening to our bodies and looking after our bodies, then we can't do that. We're not going to be able to fulfill what we need to fulfill if, you know, by an early age we're bedridden or we can't do the things that we want to do or need to do because we haven't listened and we haven't looked after ourselves. We're not actually going to complete what we're here to complete if our body's not working for us. So we really need to start loving and respecting and listening to our bodies and what it's saying. The Centre, I'm going to read this because I need to make sure I'm saying it right. The Centre for Human Energy Field Research in England have come up with these 7 stages of disease manifestation that actually starts with emotion. So all our emotions, we are energy and we are energy frequency, you know, that emanates from our bodies constantly. Anything that is living has an energy frequency, and emotions have different frequencies. And your more negative, I don't really like that word, but the more negative emotions like fear or fear-based emotions, anger, resentment, hate, grief, frustration, have a lower vibrational frequency. So what happens is they come, when we feel those, that energy goes out into our space or our aura, and it starts to make little holes and it starts to tear the aura and make gaps in it, little leaks. So then that lower energy is moving all around in our aura. And if that's left untreated, then that moves into our major energy centers, so our chakra points. It doesn't, like, just going through this, I'll explain more on that later. But so that goes into our energy centers, and each energy center has a specific purpose within our body and is related to specific physical body parts. So if it gets into that aura and then that's left into those centers, and that's left untreated, then it starts to move into us physically. So let's say, for instance, you've got stuff happening in your throat chakra. What will happen is you might start to get a sore throat or sore ears. Like, oh gosh, my ears are a bit achy. Like, what's happening there? If that's left untreated, it might end up turning into a sinus infection, like, you know, being sinusy. If that lets untreated even further, obviously that sinus infection gets worse. You get bad headaches, against other things going on with your ears and throat. And eventually, if things are left completely untreated, they become either a permanent problem or become terminal. So they're sort of the stages that it goes through, going out from your aura, down, you know, through into your centers, into your body. And it's really interesting, I think. Like, it's an interesting concept. And if you, like, let's say, take this sinus or ears and throat, it may be that you are not listening either to people around you. You know, you might be in a situation where there's a little bit of something going on and maybe you're not listening and meeting halfway, or maybe you're not listening to guidance. And like you're, you know, trying to get your attention to listen to get in the direction of your path. If it's something more throaty, it might be because you're in a situation where you're not speaking your truth, you're not speaking up for yourself, you're not letting your emotions out. So all these things begin to affect us on a more physical level. So then also, sorry, lost my train of thought. I do that. But there are 4 things emotionally that we can sort of look at when our bodies start to talk to us. So our body's telling us that we need a change, that we need to rest, that we need to add something into our lives, that we need to remove the past, we need to remove connections to emotions and the past and past situations. So what we need to do is listen to that, and we need to act on that accordingly. So some of the things, so these are the 4 things. So 1 is love and attention. So usually the love and attention, it's not saying that you need love and attention from outside, but you need to give yourself love and attention. It's your body saying, listen to me, listen to me and help me, and your heart might be saying that too. Your heart might be crying out to be heard and listened to. It might even just be that you're not doing what you love, So your love and attention is something that your body might be calling out for. The other thing is karmic debt. Now, this might be a little bit out there for a few of you, but I believe that we all have karma in some aspect of our lives, and we also have things in this lifetime that we are here to learn. So we're on a certain path, and certain challenges will come in because we need those challenges in order to grow, not just as people here, but also on a soul level we need to grow. Now, if we, I'm trying to thought again. So yeah, we need to actually, to learn those experiences, we might actually need disease. We might need illness to learn those lessons. So sometimes falling ill is part of your learning and part of your karmic debt and part of why you are here. So in understanding that helps us to see the bigger picture. It helps us to deepen our understanding of spirituality, helps us to gain more wisdom, more enlightenment when we can go, okay, this is the reason that I am like this, the reason I have this issue, the reason whatever it is that's the matter with you is a spiritual karmic debt. And once you know that, you look at everything from such a different perspective. So that's another thing that might be. And like I said, following your destiny. So we all have a certain path. And if we make choices that start shifting us off that path, something will come in to challenge us back to where we need to be, to learn those lessons that we need to learn. So it might be that disease or something happening to your body comes in because you've made choices that have just shifted you way off track. So you haven't been listening to your heart, you haven't been listening to guidance, you haven't been making those choices to keep you where you need to be. So something happens that pushes you back onto that path so that you can fulfill your destiny and fulfill what you need to do. And then the other thing is what I was talking about with emotions before. So unresolved pain, anger, needing to forgive and release the past and letting go. We need to really let go of those negative emotions to help us out. Because otherwise, like I said, like I explained before, they're going to come in, they're going to eat away until they reach us at a more physical level. So at the, Louise Hay has 2 books, You Can Heal Your Life and You Can Heal Your Body. There's a link to those, to buy those books below. I've just put a link through sort of to Amazon. Amazing to read. If you find that there's always something wrong with you and you're like, my God, why am I always getting this? Why am I always sick? Why is this always happening? Seriously, grab You Can Heal Your Life and read it. Have a look at it. Before that, if you're not quite sure, I've actually attached, there's a PDF down the bottom of here that you can grab, emotional causes of physical disease, and it's just a massive list taken from Louise Hay's book of symptoms, of physical things and the emotions that are attached to that, or the things that you might be hanging on to. So just for an example, I've got the list here, it's so massive. So let's see. So if you ache a lot, if you've got diseases or illnesses that are aching, it might, it's about aching for love and like a longing to be loved and needed. Like I said before, with ears, it's about listening and being open to hearing other people's opinions, listening to guidance from above. What else is on here? Cough, so a desire to bark at the world, saying, nobody's listening, listen to me, please. So there's so many, there's heaps. of symptoms there. So go down and grab that PDF and have a look, because it's really, really interesting. Even if not for you, even if there's somebody that you know who's always got a bad stomach, who always gets headaches, who has trouble with their knees, go and have a look and see if it sort of, matches up with what's going on. So grab that. You can also, if you'd like to connect, join me on Facebook, and you can message me through there. If you've got any questions, you can shoot me an email through the site, and subscribe. And you can always join me on a Wednesday through Facebook. I do a live for my Wednesday Wellness where I do elaborate on the blog that I've done for the month. So I sort of elaborate on bits of that a bit more and have a chat about that. You can ask questions and all that kind of thing. So please reach out, join me. I'd love to connect with you. Get on and grab that PDF. It's really, really interesting. And thanks for listening. Bye.